rundown on what really cool thing happened right here where you're standing. I'd be happy to let you know why this is historically significant. All right, we in for it? Good. All right, so everybody heard of the Boston Tea Party? Because that's where I'm going to start. You've heard about this thing, right? This horrible thing that happened in Boston. So these people in Boston decided, we don't want to be taxed for this tea that we love to drink, so what are we going to do? We're going to throw it into the harbor. Let it die. The British Parliament said, this is crazy. You people in Boston have got to stop this. This nonsense about rebellion. It's not happening anywhere else. None of the other colonies are doing this. You're just doing it in Boston. So here's what we're going to do. So you pay for all that tea, which is well over $1 million at the time. We're going to close down the port of Boston, which is a big deal. This is how things came and went, right? We're also going to take your governor and replace him with a general. And we're also going to send in lots of troops to let you know, no more rebellion. Well, this was a really big deal for the people in Boston. What they said was, we don't want to stop because we feel very strongly about this, but we need help. So they reached out to the other colonies. Now at the time, each colony had their own provincial government. They were kind of like siblings that didn't get along all that well. There was no reason to, right? They all had their own border issues and that sort of thing. But the people of Boston said, what they're doing to us in Boston is intolerable. And next, they're going to go to New York, Philadelphia, North Carolina, South Carolina. What they're doing here is going to happen everywhere. So we've got to get together and talk about this. And it resonated. So for the very first time, the colony sent delegates to the First Continental Congress. They decided to meet right here in Philadelphia, which was the largest city on the eastern seaboard. It was also right between the north and the southern colonies, so it was perfect. They met at a place called City Tavern first, which is down the street. Has anyone been there yet? So this was the gathering place, and one of the first orders of business was, okay, where are we going to have this First Continental Congress? Where are we going to meet? Well, a lot of the folks said it's natural that we should meet at the State House, which we now know as Independence Hall. It's a big, beautiful building, right? Well, those rebels in Massachusetts thought otherwise. They said, we don't want to meet in the government building. We want a private place to meet. Well, this was a private place, and it was brand new. This building was built by the Carpenters company. These are the master builders of Philadelphia. So anything that was any kind of impressive building was built by the Carpenters company. They also had a very important tenant on the second floor. Benjamin Franklin was leasing the second floor for the library company, the first and biggest library in Pennsylvania. So all these books on law, history, and geography were here. So when those rebels from Massachusetts saw this building, they said, this is perfect. It's private, beautiful building, let's do it. So for 2 months in 1774, starting in September, these delegates from 12 of the colonies met right here. People like George Washington, John Adams, Sam Adams, and Randolph. They met for 2 months, and their response back to the British Parliament was this: we're going to close all of our ports to you. You need to start taking us seriously. It was the mother of all boycotts, started right here in this room. What they wanted the British government to do was take them seriously and stop with the taxation and stop with these intolerable acts. This was 6 months before the first shots were fired in Lexington and Concord, 6 months before the Revolutionary War actually started. But right where you're standing is where it really started. So there you have it. Do you have any questions?